Hey guys, welcome to my channel. I'm Jaden, and in this video, I'm putting together my daughter's playpen while also talking about some things that no one told me becoming a mom. Usually, I get my husband to do stuff like this, but he's been working long days lately, so I just decided to go ahead and try to do it myself. I need to be able to be more handy anyways. My daughter is 7 months old now, and she's getting more and more active and rolls all over the place. So we need a safe space for her to do that and try to work on that crawl too. One of the number one things that I learned that no one told me is that breastfeeding does not come naturally. At least in my opinion, not to most first time moms. I watched so many YouTube videos beforehand about breastfeeding and how to breastfeed. So after I gave birth to my daughter, I thought that I would just put her to my boob and my body would just go and I would just be able to figure it out. I had no idea that my milk would not come in for another 48 hours and that I would have to use formula for the first few days. This might not sound like a big deal, but I literally thought that something was wrong with me. And I was devastated because the colostrum that I was producing was almost non existent and it was not enough for my daughter. And it was not a good feeling knowing that she was crying and hungry, knowing that I couldn't feed her in the way that I thought I was made to do easily. Fortunately, following my OB's advice, pumping every 2 to 3 hours, my milk did eventually come in full force almost 3 days postpartum, and I've been producing well ever since. Number 2, feeding guidelines for your baby are not the rule, and it's okay if your child doesn't perfectly follow along. After my daughter was born in the hospital, they gave me a sheet of paper with the amount of formula baby should be eating every so and so hours. Me being a first time mom, I thought that I had to stick to those amounts. So after I fed my daughter however many mLs of milk, 20 minutes later, she would start crying, and my husband and I had no idea what was wrong with her, and we didn't think that she could be hungry because we gave her the amount on the paper. So we called our nurse and she came in and immediately knew that the baby was still hungry. Turns out our daughter was already eating close to the whole 2-ounce bottle. And from that point on, I made a point to pay more attention to my daughter's cues and to not be so bound by numbers. Number 3, separation anxiety. I did not know that one of the hardest parts, if not the hardest part for me of being a mom, it's not what I'm doing when I'm with my daughter, but it's when I'm not with my daughter. Even when I have trusted family watch her as my husband and I go out on our very much needed dates, I feel free for like 5 minutes and then I'm like, oh no, I can't see her. I hope she's okay. Is she crying? Is she sleepy? Is she watching Bluey? I did not realize how incredibly deep the attachment would be when having your own child. I have her every day, all day, so it makes sense that I would experience some type of separation anxiety being away, but it's hard to describe the level of attachment I feel. Like is literally a part of me. The first time I was away from my daughter and for more than a couple hours, I wanted to cry so bad. But it was okay, and with frequent updates and pictures, it felt better. Now I understand why my mom cried when I went off to college. Because I'm already thinking like, man, what am I gonna do when she goes off to college 18 years from now? I never understood before why parents cry when their kids did normal things, like go from elementary to middle school, but now I get it. Number 4, your first period postpartum will probably be the worst period of your life. Some people say they didn't have a period when they breastfed their baby. Some say they did. My mom did. Me? I was breastfeeding and pumping before I started, before I chose to pump exclusively, and I got my period like clockwork 4 weeks after giving birth. It was the worst period of my life. I was so scared by what I was seeing. You could not tell me that my life wasn't quickly draining away. I was ruining sheet after sheet, clothes after clothes. I was afraid to use the bathroom, which was every 30 minutes. If I waited any longer than 30 minutes, I'd have an accident. I called my OB office and they were like, yeah, the first period is usually really heavy. Like, bruh, if all this is normal, then I really need to be intentional about how many times I'm going to go through this process. I know what a heavy period feels like, and it does not feel like my entire insides have turned into liquid and is escaping through one exit looking like a murder scene. I don't know how I was able to deal with that and take care of a newborn at the same time, but that was pretty scary. But thankfully, every period after that was not as bad, although till this day they come super late every month, so it's hard to track them like I used to pre-pregnancy. And saving the best for last, which I have heard a couple of times, but I do feel like it tends to get drowned out, is that having a child, definitely if it's with a wonderful partner and support system, can introduce more love and happiness than you could ever imagine in your life. My husband and I were both excited for our future when we got married, but after Jariah was born, we are now super duper ooper excited for what our future as a family holds. God has truly blessed us with a precious gift among many other things, and it's hard for us to imagine being much happier than we are now, other than having our own home for our family. I can't wait to create our own family traditions, take family trips, and just sit around the table for Sunday dinners. Everything there is to complain about pales in comparison to when you see that gummy smile on a baby's face. Finally got this playpen together, yay! Now, it did take a little sweat out of me, but I am a sweater. But I love it, and I hope my daughter loves it. For anyone that is a mom out there that happens to see this video, what did no one tell you before giving birth that you had to learn? If you enjoyed watching, click the like button and subscribe. Bye!